On Christmas Eve in Budapest, as the city glowed with festive lights and anticipation, headlines stunned Europe and reverberated across the globe. Hungary aligns with China and BRICS. The news was splashed across front pages, signaling a dramatic turn in European affairs. In a nationally televised address, Prime Minister Viktor Orbán announced a sweeping new strategic partnership with Beijing, revealing Hungary's formal application to join the BRICS New Development Bank, a move that caught many by surprise. This was far more than a simple trade deal. It marked a dramatic pivot away from Hungary's traditional Western allies, signaling a fundamental shift in the nation's foreign policy and economic orientation. The announcement sent shockwaves from Brussels to Washington, challenging the established post-Cold War order and raising urgent questions about the future of European unity. Hungary, a long-standing member of both the EU and NATO, was now openly questioning the West's dominance and exploring new alliances that could reshape its role on the continent. The timing, on a major Western holiday, was no coincidence. It was a clear, calculated signal that new power dynamics were emerging, and that Hungary was ready to chart its own course. Orbán unveiled the ambitious Eurasian Gateway Initiative, positioning Hungary as China's main economic hub within the European Union and promising new opportunities for trade, investment, and influence. For the EU, this bold move raised fears of a Trojan horse, an insider nation now championing the interests of a rival power, potentially undermining European cohesion from within. The announcement was the culmination of years of Orbán's so-called Eastern opening policy, which sought closer ties with Russia, Turkey, and China, and now appeared to be reaching its most decisive phase. Now, Hungary is making a high-stakes bet on a new future, gambling that this eastward shift will bring prosperity, security, and greater independence, even as critics warn of new dependencies and risks. The stage was set for a seismic shift in European geopolitics, as the world watched to see how this bold gamble would reshape the balance of power for years to come. The Eurasian Gateway Initiative is a multi-billion euro package binding Hungary to China's ambitions. Its centerpiece, a high-speed Budapest-Belgrade railway, financed by Chinese banks, channeling Chinese goods into Central Europe. The deal includes new industrial parks, logistics hubs, and major investments in Hungary's high-tech sector, battery manufacturing, 5G, and AI research. Hungary's entry into the BRICS New Development Bank gives it access to alternative financing, bypassing Western institutions. This is a blueprint for deep integration. Hungary becomes vital to China's European strategy, while Chinese capital becomes essential to Hungary's future. It's more than trade. It's a new axis of influence running through the heart of Europe. Orbán frames this pivot as an act of national self-determination, freeing Hungary from Western pressure. He claims the EU has become overbearing, eroding national character, while the East offers respect for sovereignty and pragmatic partnership. Supporters see this as reclaiming Hungary's freedom to choose its own path. Critics argue it's a smokescreen for entrenching illiberal rule, bypassing EU oversight and securing funds without democratic strings. Orbán is betting he can balance EU membership with Eastern alliances, maximizing Hungary's leverage. It's a high-stakes gamble. Can a small nation play great powers off each other to secure its own future? Brussels reacted with alarm and anger. EU leaders called for unity, but behind closed doors, officials felt betrayed. Hungary was now courting a systemic rival. The move is seen as an existential threat to the EU's core values and unity. Germany and France warned of new divisions, while Eastern states saw a security risk on NATO's flank. The EU's options are limited. Suspending Hungary's rights or withholding funds risks backlash and further division. The crisis exposes the EU's struggle to balance national sovereignty with collective action. If Brussels can't respond effectively, its credibility as a global actor is at stake. Hungary's defiance forces the EU to confront what it truly stands for. Hungary's current political direction is deeply rooted in a long and complex history of survival, caught between the ambitions of East and West. For centuries, this nation has found itself at the crossroads of empires, forced to adapt and endure. Repeated invasions and long periods of foreign domination have left a lasting mark, shaping a deep suspicion of external powers and a fierce desire to protect national identity. The trauma of the Trianon Treaty, decades of Soviet rule, and the crushed 1956 uprising still echo painfully in the national psyche, influencing how Hungarians view the world today. Prime Minister Viktor Orbán taps into this legacy, presenting his Eastern Opening as a modern survival strategy, balancing great powers to preserve Hungary's independence and secure its future. For many Hungarians, the West's promises after 1989 now feel unfulfilled, replaced by new forms of dominance and pressure from Brussels, leading to growing skepticism. Yet history warns that alliances with great powers, whether East or West, often end in disappointment and lost sovereignty for Hungary. Critics fear Hungary is simply trading one dependency for another, risking its long-term future and autonomy for short-term political or economic gain. The debate today is about which lesson from history Hungary should heed and how best to chart a path forward. Is true sovereignty found in forging new alliances abroad, or in strengthening democracy and unity at home? The answer remains at the heart of Hungary's ongoing journey. The government touts the alliance as a path to prosperity, promising high-tech jobs, booming exports, and a renewed industrial base for Hungary. Officials highlight the potential for economic transformation, suggesting that this partnership could usher in a new era of growth and opportunity for Hungarian workers and businesses alike. Supporters see Hungary's role in China's Belt and Road as a smart economic move, positioning the country as a vital gateway between East and West, and opening doors to new markets and investment flows. They point to successful Chinese investments already in the country, such as new factories and infrastructure projects, as evidence that this strategy is already bearing fruit. The promise is clear: modernization and wealth, achieved without the strings and conditions often attached to Western aid or investment. But critics warn of debt-trap diplomacy, raising concerns that the costs may outweigh the benefits in the long run. Opaque Chinese loans, they argue, could erode Hungary's economic sovereignty, making the nation vulnerable to external pressure and influence. Reliance on a single non-democratic partner brings significant risks, such as lack of transparency, lower labor standards, and mounting environmental concerns that could harm local communities. There's growing fear that the benefits will flow mainly to political elites and well-connected insiders, rather than reaching the broader population or improving everyday life for ordinary Hungarians. The economic embrace of China comes with hidden costs: financial risk, potential loss of control over key industries, and an uncertain path to lasting prosperity. The question remains: will Hungary's gamble pay off, delivering the promised growth and security, or will it leave the nation beholden to Beijing, with fewer options and diminished independence? The stakes are nothing less than the nation's economic future, and the choices made today will shape Hungary for generations to come. The eastward pivot has split Hungarian society. Supporters hail the alliance as patriotic and visionary, celebrating Orbán's defiance of the West. They see economic opportunity and a pragmatic shift toward Asia's rising power. Critics, meanwhile, see a betrayal of democratic values and fear a slide into authoritarianism. Protests erupt in Budapest, with the EU flag as a symbol of resistance. The divide is generational and cultural: urban liberals and youth versus rural conservatives and Orbán loyalists. For some, the deal is smart strategy. For others, it's the end of Hungary's European dream. The debate is about more than foreign policy. It's about the nation's identity. Is Hungary part of the West, or forging a new, uncertain path? Experts are split. Is Hungary's move shrewd or reckless? Realists argue Orbán is leveraging great power rivalry to Hungary's advantage. gaining bargaining power with both East and West. They see Hungary as ahead of the curve, adapting to a multipolar world. But critics warn Hungary is risking isolation, trading reliable EU benefits for uncertain gains from China. They argue the alliance exposes Hungary to security risks and undermines its democratic foundations. The economic benefits may not outweigh the political and strategic costs. Some see Orbán's play as clever chess, others as dangerous brinkmanship. The consensus among skeptics: Hungary's sovereignty and prosperity are at risk. The outcome will shape not just Hungary, but Europe's future. Hungary's realignment is a litmus test for Europe and the global order. It challenges the EU's unity and the resilience of the Western-led system. If Orbán's gamble succeeds, other leaders may follow, threatening further fragmentation. The EU must decide how far it will go to defend its values and cohesion. The world is watching. Will Hungary prosper or fall into a debt trap? The outcome depends on Hungary's society, its institutions, and the broader geopolitical climate. Hungary now stands at the epicenter of great power competition. Its fate will help define the contours of the new world order.